Hi. So, I wanted to talk today about emotional numbness when you have an eating disorder. The first thing I want to say is that emotional numbness for many of us is not something that's just there the whole time. It's actually something that, well, in my case, that I felt I did have quite a degree of control over, and I would use my ability to, shall I say, control my emotional reaction to things sort of when it suited me or when it suited my eating disorder. So, for example, I could have my mother there crying, because I wouldn't eat or whatever, and I could be as cold as ice. I would just be like, whatever. Like, I completely could shut off my emotional response, or what would be considered a normal emotional response. And the reason that I did that is because I didn't want to know. I didn't want her upset over me not eating to upset me, because doing so, I might be inspired to eat, who knows. But I wasn't always emotionally cold like that. A lot of the time I'd fly off the handle and have an anger response, but that's a different fear response, isn't it? But a lot of the time I really could just shut it down, shut it all off. And from an evolutionary point of view, I think that actually the ability to do that could be beneficial in, say, times of famine where resources are limited and it's a bit dog eat dog, literally. You can't be getting all attached to people and upset by people and upset by other people's emotions. You've just got to be single track minded on your goal, and you've got to execute. You've got to go like that. And I think that those of us that have those restrictive eating disorder genetics would have been phenomenal at that, in that sort of environment, because because their ability to just shut down the emotional component. And like most things, this isn't straightforward. There would be some days and times when this slightest thing would actually elicit a very strong emotional response from me. Weirdly so. Like, a memory of an old friend would have me in floods of tears, but only ever when I was on my own. Only ever when I was on my own. It was really unheard of that I would allow myself to have an emotional response in front of other people, which again is, I don't think, coincidental. I think that is a survival thing, and it can be super infuriating for other people because of our ability to shut down our emotional responses, especially when they're pushing us to eat and they're getting upset and getting nothing back. Apart from anger, sometimes that would come up. But I just don't think it's accidental that develops with a lot of people when they have restrictive eating disorder. And also often goes away when we recover from restrictive eating disorder, because as far as your brain's concerned, you're no longer in an environment that warrants needs that sort of thing. So now, if for any reason, if anything I had done had my mother in front of me crying, you can guarantee that I would be very upset by that. That's more normal. That's a healthier emotional system. It's not the shut down, cold, I'm not getting involved with this human, I'm not getting attached to this human, I'm not going to be involved, be attached. It's not that, which is ultimately not socially healthy, is it? But if you think about it, family environment, dog eat dog, that's not the priority anymore, is it? Numero uno is the priority, or getting through whatever your brain has decided its mission is to do is the priority. So I just wanted to put that out there. It does change, and like I said before, it's just weird. I could be so shut down emotionally, especially regarding people who are very close to me, and then have extreme emotional reactions at just the slightest thing that almost wasn't even triggered by anything. It would just come to me. It's just a weird. I was a weird person when I had an eating disorder, but I know I'm not the only one who was like that. I know a lot of us are like that. And so, what are your thoughts on that? I'd be interested to know.